Today is the day of, surprising teams going at it with one another because there are surprisingly good teams and some surprisingly, well, they get a chance to turn things around starting today, don't they? And let's go ahead and start things off with the New York Rangers at home against the Vancouver Canucks. Yes, it is a rematch of the 1994 Stanley Cup. And neither of these teams look like they're going to go to a Stanley Cup this year, but the Canucks look like they might have a couple of guys that'll help them get there at some point, and the Rangers still have a goaltender who is bound and determined to take another run at it at some point. At least he looks like he could put up those kinds of stats for at least this year, and who knows, maybe beyond. Goaltenders can be fantastic into their late 30s, early 40s, so it's happened before. Um, the Canucks are 10-6-2, and that's a fantastic record considering where we had all pegged them before the season started. The New York Rangers are 8-7-2. The Canucks are led in scoring with Pettersson at 10 goals and 7 assists. Horvat 9 goals, 7 assists. Eriksson, that's right, Louis Eriksson 4 goals, 7 assists. Brock Besser 4 goals and 7 assists. Virtanen 7 goals, 2 assists. Granlund has 3 goals and 6 assists. Goldobin, 1 goal, 8 assists, and Roussel with 3 goals and 4 assists rounds out the top 8. Antoine Roussel has played very well for the Canucks so far this year. As a Stars fan as well, I was well aware of what the Canucks were getting with Roussel, and he's been a pretty good fit. On the Rangers side of things, Zibanejad, 7 goals, 8 assists. Chris Kreider, 8 goals, 4 assists. Hayes, 3 goals, 8 assists. Zuccarello, 3 goals and 7 assists. Jimmy Vesey, 6 goals, 3 assists. And if we're going to talk about guys having solid starts to the season, Vesey's played well. Buchnevich, 5 goals, 4 assists. I'll talk about him in this term. 4 to 6 weeks is what they're saying about him. He's got a broken finger. Pionk, 3 goals, 6 assists. And Howden with 3 goals and 6 assists as well to round out the top 8 for the Rangers. Goaltending, well, Markstrom's playing until Nilsson's back. Markstrom 7.32, or Markstrom is 7-3-2. That's right, I added the record, so that'll throw me right off, won't it? Of course it will. Even though I wrote it up there myself. What's this crap? 7 wins, 3 losses, 2 overtime losses for Markstrom. 3.24 goals against, an 898 save percentage. Nilsson has a record of 3-3. 2.67 goals against, 912 save percentage. On the Rangers side of things, Lundqvist 5-6-2 with a 2.65 goals against, 921 save percentage. Georgiev is 3-1 with a 3.62 goals against and an 896 save percentage. So I just thought that gives us a bit of a different look when it comes to the goaltenders. I've talked about their their statistics, but the statistics without the win-loss record don't tell the whole story. So I thought, yeah, I'll throw in the win-loss record. I should. And that was why I looked at Markstrom's win-loss record. I look at Lundqvist and Georgiev, and I thought, you know what? Yeah, it's got to be up there. Special teams. The Canucks power plays at 19.6%, but it has been dropping. And 80% on the penalty kill. The Rangers, 18.5% on the power play and 77.2% on the penalty kill. So neither team has fantastic special teams right now. They're both around average. If you look at shots for and against per game, the Canucks are getting 28.8 shots for and 32.1 shots against. The New York Rangers, 29.7 shots for, 34.8 shots against. The Canucks are 5-4-2 on the road. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10. Canucks are a hot and cold team. The New York Rangers are 5-3 at home, and they're 6-3-1 in their last 10. So the Rangers have been on a nice run lately. And while the Canucks are first in their division and the Rangers are not in first, the Rangers can get a little bit closer today depending on what somebody else does. And now we're going to get into what that somebody else is going to do. Because the Columbus Blue Jackets are in against the Dallas Stars. Columbus won in Columbus. Dallas is not great on the road. They're below 500 on the road. They're better this year on the road than last year so far. But at home, Dallas is excellent. Both teams are sporting a record of 9-6-2. The leading scorer for the Columbus Blue Jackets is Panarin with 5 goals, 13 assists. Atkinson is next with 7 goals and 5 assists. Pierre-Luc Dubois has 7 goals and 5 assists as well. Foligno, 6 goals, 5 assists. Werenski, 3 goals and 8 assists. Duclair, 7 goals and 3 assists. Anderson, 7 goals and 2 assists. And Nudavara is on the board with 2 goals and 7 assists. On the Dallas side of things, Tyler Seguin, 5 goals, 12 assists. Jamie Benn, 7 goals, 3 assists. Klingberg, who of course isn't playing, 6 goals, 7 assists. Shore has 5 goals and 6 assists. Radulov, also not playing, 5 goals, 6 assists. No, Radulov's back in the lineup tonight. That's right, he's back in the lineup tonight. We'll see if that helps spur their attack. Spezza, 4 goals, 7 assists. Heiskanen, 2 goals, 5 assists. And Foxa with 3 goals and 3 assists. Goaltending. Goaltending's interesting when it comes to Columbus, because Bobrovsky has a 5-6 record, 2.90 goals against, 908 save percentage. Korpisalo has a 4-0-2 record with a 3.78 goals against, 875 save percentage. So Korpisalo hasn't lost in regulation, and Bobrovsky's not quite 500 yet. It's interesting. On the Dallas side of things, Hudobin 3-1-1 with a 2.37 goals against, 926 save percentage, and Bishop 6-5-1 with a 2.61 goals against and a 915 save percentage. When you look at the special teams, 15.6% power play for Columbus, 76.8% penalty kill for Columbus. On the Dallas side of things, 24.4% power play and 81.5% penalty kill. Special teams favor Dallas, 5-on-5 play. We'll see, right? Shots for and against. Columbus is taking 33.3 shots per game. They're allowing 31.4. They have a 5-2-1 road record. They're 5-3-2 in their last 10. So their road record's better than their home record. They are the opposite of Dallas. Dallas is 6-2-1 at home. They're 6-2-2 in their last 10. So again, it'll be interesting to see how that works. Dallas is taking 30.1 shots per game, and they're allowing 31.2. So Columbus with a mild advantage when it comes to shots over Dallas. It's kind of a wash, and it's going to be interesting to see who ends up winning this game. With Radulov back in the lineup, we'll see how that affects things. Because Dallas was figuring things out kind of without him. Hopefully he's 100%, but if he's not, they can give him limited ice time, and they may be just fine. The one thing that stands out for me on this board is that Radek Foxa with 3 goals and 3 assists. Last year I said I thought Foxa overachieved and that he's not really a number 2 center, and you know they can't really use him as a second center if Spezza continued to regress. Some people didn't agree with me, but Foxa right now is sitting with 6 points. I love Radek Foxa, not a number 2 center. And definitely Spezza has not regressed further this year, which is good news for Dallas fans. Next up, Chicago, 6-8-3. Yeesh. They're in against Carolina, who are 7-7-3. So for Carolina, this is a chance to take advantage of a weaker opponent, which they looked like they had against Detroit too, but at this stage of the game, is Carolina just the weaker opponent? The shot clock tells you they're not. The shot clock tells you they're dominant. They shoot from everywhere, though. That's their, seems to be their mantra, and it seems to be their downfall as well. For Chicago, they got off to that excellent start. Things have kind of fallen off from there. I don't know where to throw the blame. I know people want to blame Stan Bowman and everything. That's fine, but there is a natural fall that every team has at the end of a dynasty type run. They're not an official dynasty, but we can say 3 cups in 6 years. It's as close as you're going to get in the modern era. And this is just a natural progression from that. When teams win Stanley Cups like this, you end up having to pay a lot of money to keep your team together. There's a lot of pressure to keep that team together from fans and probably from the players in the room saying, we want to take another run at this, so we got to keep the guys together. And so you're going to have a natural progression where the players get more expensive and you get some diminishing returns along the way. And you get Chicago. And there have been some trades that weren't necessarily the best move for the team. People will point out the Saad for Panarin trade, but honestly, Panarin, it's obvious that they traded him because they didn't think they'd be able to re-sign him. They're looking at what's going on in Columbus, and they're going, haha, see, we knew that was going to be the problem. The thing is, if Panarin was in Chicago, who knows how many more points a guy like Kane might have. And yet Kane leads Chicago with 12 goals and 9 assists. DeBrincat with 8 goals, 7 assists. Taves, 8 goals, 5 assists. And Anisimov, 2 goals, 7 assists. Brent Seabrook also has 2 goals and 7 assists. Saad, 4 goals and 4 assists. And, of course, he is the acquisition for Panarin. Schmaltz, 2 goals, 6 assists. Yoki Haru has 8 assists for Chicago. He's been sitting at 8 assists for a while. Carolina, Sebastian Aho, 4 goals, 16 assists for him. So he's up to 20 points. It's not bad in 17 games, I guess. Teravainen, 3 goals, 11 assists. Michael Furland, 8 goals, 4 assists. Williams, 1 goal, 10 assists for 11 points. Stahl, 5 goals, 3 assists. Slavin, 2 goals, 5 assists. Falk with a goal and 6 assists. And there's Svechnikov with 4 goals and 2 assists to round things out on that side. If you're looking at goaltending numbers, on Chicago, Crawford is 3-6-0 with a 3.07 goals against, 901 save percentage. Cam Ward 3-2-3 with a 3.92 goals against, 886 save percentage. On the Carolina side of things in net, Darling a 1-2-1 record, 3.01 goals against, 905 save percentage. Mrazek 3-3-2 with a 2.75 goals against, 880 save percentage. And McElhinney is 3-2 with a 2.81 goals against, 884 save percentage. So the goaltending there is kind of pick 'em. Although I will say this, Darling has been solid for Carolina since his return. I would expect since it's against Chicago, we'll see Darling again. And that's the team he has his one victory against this season. And we'll likely see Crawford against him because that's what Chicago has. That's it. Special teams, neither team is playing very well on special teams. Chicago has a power play of 12.5%. Carolina has a power play of 14.3%. So those are anemic, but the penalty kill numbers aren't good either. 76.9% for Chicago, 71.9% for Carolina. Shots for and against, Chicago, 33.1 shots for, 33.0 shots against. So right near even. On the Carolina side, 41.8 shots per game. And again, they're on an NHL record pace. I'm going to keep mentioning this till they drop below it. I don't know if they're going to. Maybe they will set a new record for shots. Shots against, 25.5. The shots against, it's alarming. Because when you look at the games, I've been watching their games, the actual scoring chances are right near even, but the shots per game are so widely different. The Chicago Blackhawks are 3-5-1 on the road. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10. Carolina's 3-3-2 at home, and they're 3-5-2 in their last 10. So, again, this is the somebody's got to win game of the night. And for Chicago, they haven't had a win in a while. So I would take Chicago if I was a betting man. I'm not, but that's what I would do. Next up. So Nashville is this unstoppable machine at this point of the season, and they're 13-3. The Anaheim Ducks are 7-8-3. The Ducks have been very much a stoppable team, and really with Anaheim, there's everything wrong right now. It is bad. The only thing that's still going relatively well is their goaltending, and Gibson's showing cracks because I think the amount of pressure that you have to face as a goaltender when your team doesn't score, it's got to be just really, really frustrating night in and night out. Their last game, he really showed how frustrated he was. Got to get that under control. In fact, I would consider throwing in Miller and giving Gibson a bit of a rest, but that's me. The Nashville Predators 13-3. 13 wins in 16 games. Now, that's a pace that they're not going to keep that up all year, but it's pretty solid. Pretty impressive. On the scoring side of things, Johansson leads the way for Nashville with 3 goals and 14 assists, so they only have one player with more than a point a game, which shows that there's a lot of depth going on with Nashville, too. 10 goals and 5 assists for Forsberg, 8 goals, 5 assists for Arvidsson, 3 goals, 10 assists for Turris. who's quietly having a good season. 2 goals, 10 assists for Subban, 5 goals, 6 assists for Yossi, 3 goals, 8 assists for Ekholm, and then Hartman's on the board with 5 goals and 4 assists, and breaking up the defenseman on the board. On the Anaheim side of things, Raquel, and I know they want more goals from Raquel. 3 goals, 9 assists, 3 goals in 17 games just isn't gonna cut it. He's on pace for about 14 goals this year. Getzlaf, 3 goals, 8 assists. Silverberg, 5 goals, 5 assists. Fowler, 3 goals, 7 assists. Lindholm, 2 goals, 7 assists. Henrique, 4 goals, 4 assists. Comtois with 2 goals, 5 assists. And Aberg, 5 goals and 1 assist, meaning Aberg's tied for the lead with goals. And he's looked like one of the more dangerous forwards for Anaheim in many of their games. That says a lot for how undangerous, if that's a word. Sure it is, that's a word. I can make up a word. How undangerous the rest of the lineup really looks. I guess harmless is a better way of putting it. I'll go with undangerous. It's been a bit of a rough go for Anaheim, and I'm not sure that rough go is done yet, because now Nashville's in town. Nashville's power play is nothing to write home about, though. That's the weird part. Nashville's not doing this through special teams. Their power play's at 13.6%. Their penalty kills at 76.9%, meaning Anaheim's special teams numbers are actually better. They're at 16% on the power play and 80.3% on the penalty kill. There's a lot of teams playing tonight that don't have great special teams. So it's going to be interesting to see if this affects tonight's outcomes at all or not. Shots for and against. Nashville's getting 31.1 shots for, 29.8 shots against. That's pretty fantastic. Anaheim 25.3 shots for, 36.9 shots against. Goaltenders? Well, that's why, even though the shots are almost even, Nashville's untouchable. Rinne has a 6-1 record with a 1.55 goals against and a 949 save percentage. When your starter's putting up a 949 save percentage, you're going to win a lot of games, even if you're outshot. On the Saros side of things, he's 7-2, 2.67 goals against, 909 save percentage, meaning Nashville may very well adjust their game for when Saros is in net. And that happens. I've talked about that for the last couple of years, where there are teams that will play better in front of some goalies than they will in front of others. My thinking has always been that there's a difference in how they play. That they'll know, okay, Rinne's in that, we're good. We don't, we only need a couple of goals and then we can kind of sit on the lead. Saros is in that. Saros is not on that same level, so they may say, all right, we got to keep going. We got to keep putting on the pressure. We don't want to put too much pressure on UC. And we've got to win this game. So there's just a difference in how they approach it. On the Anaheim side, Miller is 2-2 with a 2.33 goals against, 936 save percentage. Gibson's 5-6-3 with a 2.59 goals against, 928 save percentage. And as I said, he started looking really frustrated their last game. The Nashville Predators are the only team in the league left that's undefeated on the road. They're 8-0. They're 8-2 in their last 10 because, of course, they are. Look, they're 13-3, so of course they've only lost 2 out of their last 10. On the Anaheim side, they're 4-3-3 at home. They're 2-6-2 in their last 10. And one of those 2 wins in their last 10 was against Calgary, which they have some kind of a voodoo curse on Calgary or something, because Calgary just can't beat them. So I'm not sure what to make of this game, because again, to me, this is a game that Anaheim should win. Look, they're 1 game below 500, and they're against a team that it looks like they don't have a chance against. Those are the games that typically I say, you know what, we're going to see an unusual result there. Not making that prediction, but again, I could see it. I could definitely see this being a game where, maybe Nashville goes down in overtime, that kind of thing. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through just tapping upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.